Well, I would like to talk about inventory or lack of inventory.
Yeah, so it was kind of an interesting year. You know, we got the shutdown in March. April was really kind of a regroup, what's going to happen.
Exactly.
You know, the homeowners and stuff backed off. Then the market really just torched. It was really, really active through June, July, August, September. We really saw then the push November, December, and into then this year. As people like, you know, the homes became different. As opposed to just a home, now they had kids at home doing online schooling. They had people working from home. So the house somewhat shifted and needs of the house shifted. So people are like, we need a bigger house. And then you also had a lot of people coming from the city and apartments that said, we want a backyard. We want to be able to, you know, have some privacy and some space that we're feel safe in. So the demand for the housing is just skyrocketed, and not enough people are moving. So there's some interesting demographics that are happening, and I'm sure it's nationwide, but certainly in our area. So you've got this baby boomer generation that has decided, I'm not quite ready to move. I want to see where my kids are going to land. I still want to keep the big house so we have the family celebrations and place to come home. But I do want to buy someplace where it's warm. Mm-hmm. So we see a lot of activity. Tennessee, Texas, certainly Florida and Arizona have always been hot spots. No pun intended. For people to go. So they're not putting their house on the market yet. You've got the millennials that are really starting to buy, and you also have the Z generation that are starting to come out into the market too. So I really foresee a good solid 10 years of just a strong market, because there's this demand, and for really the last 14 years since the downturn in 2008, there's not been a lot of building. I mean, there's very little new construction in the area. It's slowly starting to come. We've just listed a project, Crossings of Mundelein, which is a townhouse development. Mm-hmm. And those sales are going very well because there's just not a lot of brand new construction, and people want it. So I think that until the builders come back really strong and to pick up this piece of inventory, and then our generation decide, okay, I don't need the big house anymore. And a lot of those young kids, those millennials, et cetera, are sitting on a pile of cash because they moved back in with the folks, lived rent-free for, you know, a couple of years, and now they're, you know, some strong buyers that are in the marketplace. So, but it's going to be a really strong market for the next, definitely, 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to be really strong just because, you know, the new families are settling.
Interesting. What about rental market? You're in Chicago, so I'm from New York area, and I would love to know how rental market is in your area.
That's actually kind of one of our hopes we're going to grab some inventory from, because what we saw, we had the unintentional landlord. You know, they bought the house in 2006 at a very inflated price. The market crashed. They've been sitting on this house for a good 12 years because they couldn't sell. It wasn't worth what they paid for it, so they've been renting it out. Some of those are slowly coming on as their lease is coming up. They're like, you know what? It's time to sell this property finally.
Perfect.
And we have seen a good 10% increase in just the appreciation in January alone. So as this goes out throughout the year, and again, supply, demand, prices go up. So